Hello, everybody. My name is Richard Gill, and welcome to episode 87 of a very special edition, A Rich Comic Life in a Nutshell, a collaboration of podcasts featuring my podcast, A Rich Comic Life, and my friend Mark Duqueno's podcast, Comedy in a Nutshell. We're coming to you live from the Leicester Comedy Festival, celebrating its 30th year. And if you want to find out our experiences of watching stand-up comedy, it's on podcast only this week. So please head over to where you get your podcasts and enjoy. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to Comedy in a Nutshell. This is a podcast by me, your host, Mark Duqueno.
No. What's going on here? This is my podcast. It's Richard Gill. It's A Rich Comic Life, surely.
Well, why can't we do a podcast together? Let's just do it, the two of us, and we can share. How about that?
Well, that is a fantastic idea. Let's do it.
Why don't you tell everyone where we are?
Well, we are live at the Leicester Comedy Festival celebrating their 30th anniversary. So we thought, why not? Let's do a joint podcast together. And here we are.
Leicester Comedy Festival, 30 years. Can you believe it?
Absolutely incredible.
I've been coming here since 2020. What about you?
I've been coming here since 2022. 2020 as well.
As well? Also.
3 years for me.
I mean, have you got any great memories of the festival?
Very much so. It's a very wonderful city to start with. I like the fact that all the venues are very close to each other because I'm getting old. I'm in my late and mid-50s.
You're late mid-50s.
I'm 55. But no, it's great. So you've got all the really good venues together.
Yeah.
The first act I ever saw was one of my favourite pun comedians, Darren Walsh, and he was very surprised to see me, like they all were, because I don't tell them I'm going and I just turn up, and it was wonderful. I saw him in 2020, I saw Josh Berry, I saw the wonderful Lily Phillips, I saw Jessica Fosterque and Jack Leto for the first time, who was phenomenal. I thought he was particularly strong. What about you?
Well, you're not going to believe this.
You saw the same shows as
I was there. Yeah.
You were in all my shows.
Darren Walsh, Josh Berry, and then I saw Georgie Morell, and then I saw Frizzle, who went on to win Best Musical Act that year.
That's right. Yeah. I'm seeing him tonight. Actually, we're recording this in February 23 on the last Friday, and I'm seeing him tonight, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But that's extraordinary, and I think that's the magic of comedy, that like me, I've never met anyone who likes comedy as much as me until I met you, and apparently you're here for a long time. You're not just here for a few days, which is wonderful. That's
true. I'm here for the duration. I volunteer at the festival, have done for 4 years now, so I'm here for the full 19 days. Now, that's a long time. It's 800 shows on at this year's festival.
You haven't seen 800 shows?
I personally haven't, no. But I'm on track. If all things go to plan, by the end of this weekend, the final weekend, I will have seen approximately 78 shows.
That, my friend, is bonkers. that is so cool. I mean, I think I'm doing well with 12 or 13, but my record is 50 in a week in Edinburgh when I turned 50. Yeah. And when I finished from there, I needed to lie down. I was too exhausted, but that's fantastic. 79, well done you. Yeah. Have you got any particular favourites this year?
Do you know, there's been so many great shows. I really think that the standard is really up there, because last year, as you know, having come back, it was kind of like a festival light. Sure, having come back from 2021 when all the shows were online, 2022 was a kind of a smaller affair. This year, everyone's come back with a vengeance. There's so many people debuting. I've seen some fantastic shows. I saw Milo Edwards. He was terrific. I saw the great Adele Cliff, who I absolutely adore. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
I've seen, we saw together yesterday Alistair Beckett King. He was
superb.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the list just goes on and on. I mean, it's difficult for me to call out a favourite because they're all so very different and they're all terrific. But loads of the people I've had the pleasure to talk to have been on, and I've seen them. Fiona Ridgewell was wonderful. Chelsea Birkby was wonderful. There's loads and loads of great comics.
That's terrific. And that's the magic of any festival, particularly here, because Leicester is one of the... In fact, I think it is the first major fringe festival of the season. But what I love about it is the diverse variety of acts. It's amazing. I mean, so far I've seen the first act I saw was Abigail Paul. I've seen Michelle Shaughnessy. I've seen Scott Bennett. I've seen Alistair Beckett-King Review. And I've seen Alex Hilton as well, who was particularly strong. And each one of them has a completely different delivery, but with one obvious aim, which is to make an audience laugh. And every time they've done it, it's just magical to see.
Yeah, for sure. Are you excited for the last weekend of the festival?
Very much indeed. I've got the 30th anniversary celebration on Saturday, and I'm going to the Leicester Mercury Comedian of the Year, which is the first time I've been to an award show. So I'm sort of like having a bigger weekend. And I know, talking to you in the Firebug where we were hammered, we had a wonderful night of talking comedy. You are particularly encouraging for the smaller act, shall we say?
Yes.
Whereas I'm embracing it all. But what's wonderful is that we both support this fantastic medium. So it's brilliant.
So what's the 30th anniversary show all about that you're going to?
Well, all I know is that we've got to meet at the Sue Townsend Theatre, and then we get fed, and we get
drunk.
Drink. I was going to say pissed, but drunk. And then we are taken into an auditorium, and I know specifically Jeff Rowe, who is the outgoing director of the festival, who has been for the last 30 years. He is, I believe, being interviewed by Arthur Smith, so that's going to be a highlight. I've got Jeff Rowe hopefully coming up on my podcast in March, and it'll be wonderful to interview him, to have his experiences of creating the festival and how does he get the acts and all this sort of thing. So it'll be a nice change to watch an interview instead of just to stand up with a microphone, and that's what I like to learn more of. So it's wonderful that these opportunities are here. What about yourself on the last weekend?
Oh, I've got another great packed weekend of stand-up comedy myself. Saturday I'm going to see Mark Dean Quinn, Eleanor Morton. I've got the Comedy Arcade, of course, that we both know and love.
Yes, very much.
Chris Norton Walker, Garrett Millerick. That's on Saturday. Sunday, I've got Charlie Vero Martin, Sarah Barron, Ben Briggs, Nathan Cassidy, Vigo Venn and Julia Masley, and I'm looking forward to a packed weekend.
It's a quiet weekend for you then, my friend, not many.
Yeah, days like any other. Days like any other.
I'm also particularly looking forward to Alexander Bennett, who I've seen a few years ago, but I haven't seen for a while. And his new show is supposed to be particularly strong, so that's after the 30th anniversary celebration. And then my final show on Sunday is Sarah Barron, who again I haven't seen for a while, which we're both going to, which would be nice. But you've got more after I go. You just keep on going, my friend. It's great.
Yeah. Well, a nerd never rests. So, yes, I mean, even when the festival ends, I've got shows planned for every day for the coming week upon week. So we'll see.
Your diary is absolutely packed, I've no doubt. 2022 was a particularly strong year for me. I did quite a lot of shows. I saw Steve Bujega, who's riding high at the moment with the TV series Buffering, which he co-wrote with Ian Sterling. I saw Flo and Joan in the Big Theatre, and they did a routine. They do a song called Carol the Cracker Packer, and I didn't know that Carol the Cracker Packer is based on Cars cracker factory, which is in Carlisle, and there's a little statue of the women who used to crack the packers. I can't say it, you know what I mean?
Cracker packers.
The
cracker packers.
The crackers.
Yeah.
There's a little statue by the bus stop that I used to get every day to go home, and it was extraordinary to recognise this song.
Yeah.
So they had a poster of her, and I had a signed poster of it, which was a treasured memory.
Yeah.
I also saw particularly strong that year Rob Rouse, who came back with such a joyous show. There was lots of songs and comedy and everything that we saw it again at Edinburgh. It's been wonderful. Another strong comedian who I really enjoyed was Eric Rushton, and I know he's been on again this year. He's very word of mouth, and everybody went to see him, and it was wonderful to see. So what about you? Is there any more highlights for you
from 2022? I think some of my favourite shows were. I think I saw Glenn Moore.
Yeah,
he was terrific.
Yeah. He is. He's superb.
I saw the wonderful Adele Cliff, of course. Erin Tett, very fun clowning from her.
Yeah,
Eleanor Conway, who I think is fantastic. I saw Lloyd Griffith's show. He was wonderful.
I love him. He's so good. I saw that as well. It was called Unemployment, and it was Lloyd in the middle of it. It was great. Yeah.
Then also, the fantastic Lauren Patterson.
Yeah.
Saw her early working of her show, which I recently then saw again at Soho Theatre, which was fantastic. Catherine Bohart.
Oh, I love her.
She's fantastic. Charlie Baker.
Yeah.
Alfie Brown was wonderful.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on and on. Diane Spencer was amazing.
Not many again, then.
Not many again. Well, only 76 shows last year. Only 76 last year.
I love the fact that we are very lucky to be able to do this, but I love the fact that you go, right, how many days can I go to this?
Yeah.
And it's like nearly the lot, and it's wonderful. Why not? Because comedy is such a, as you can see from the podcast, both of us, it's such a passionate thing to love. And what is not to love about it? You know, it's just a joyous thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's wonderful. 2021, the year of COVID, of course.
Yes.
They did an online interview series, which I listened to 3 of those, which I was fascinated by, 3 diverse comedians. It was Jeff Rowe interviewing Angela Barnes. I saw Stuart Lee. I saw online, and Al Murray. I saw online, and again, one was character-based, of course, with Al Murray, and Angela Barnes was just a very cheery, very funny lady.
Yeah.
Stuart Lee, there was a lot of intelligence to his comedy and a lot of analysis, and just fantastic, you know, to see the 3 different styles of comedy being interviewed. Was fascinating to listen to, and that's why. Certainly for me, a reason why I do my blog, because each comedian's got a different story to tell. Yeah. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. How did you feel about 2021 being, because it was so online, obviously all the shows online, how did you feel about that experience?
Well, my view of online comedy, I couldn't have lived without it. It was better than nothing.
Yeah.
But you can't beat live because it's of the moment. And there's nothing better to go to a live comedy show with your mates and have a few beers beforehand or even on your own and just sit there and go, right, this comedian's going to make me laugh. That's his whole aim.
Yeah.
And the online thing where there are stops and starts and pauses and everything.
Yeah.
The comedian has to be very good at doing it, I've learned, in order to get the reaction from the audience. And of course, all the audio's got to be working so you can hear the laughs and the comedian can time the jokes and everything. It's great that online comedy audiences can have access to it, but as I say, you can't be live.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? This is great, just talking to you. And that's what podcasts are for. But a comedy show, I don't know. I mean, the very good ones were done well.
Yes.
And this, the Leicester one was obviously done well as well, because they obviously knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
But, as I say, it's better than nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. You have to have comedy in your life. You have to.
Without it.
And so, yes, if you can't get it live, then by hook or by crook, frankly. Yeah. But what interested me the most, I think, is when somebody embraces a new opportunity. Like, necessity is the mother of invention. If you have to be online, what can you do with it? And some of the people in that festival really embraced it, really got behind it. I think Stuart Laws was... for me, one of the best, made the best use of the medium, I think. And it was just phenomenal show. But some great shows came out of it. Esther Manito won Best Show that year for #NotAllMen. Great show. I really enjoy her comedy. She's very, very funny, very strong.
She builds the comedy to a point where... Certainly when I watch her, she builds it up to a point where I can't laugh anymore. And of course, I'm famous for my loud laugh. I don't mean to drown her out, but she's very good.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. And also, Scott Bennett, who you know and love, he really embraced... with his performances from The Shed, he embraced lockdown, and he did that on that show. And then, of course, you had things that were typically online anyways, things like No More Jockeys was amazing. And Tim Key from that also, he did his show where he was interviewed. He did it twice, interviewed by two different people. And that, again, it was a fantastic show. And I think they were nominated for best online event. In fact, No More Jockeys won best online event that year.
Wow. It is. It's as I say, it's better than nothing. But you can't beat live. It's as simple as that for me.
Yeah.
That's why I've been going to live events for nearly almost 50 years. How sad. It's not sad. It's wonderful, and we encourage you. Please go.
Right. What else have we got? I can't even think. I've run out of stuff.
Well,
we've flown through the festival.
I just want to say happy birthday, Leicester Comedy Festival. It's been wonderful. I can't believe you've been going 30 years. I went to the exhibition in the library yesterday.
Yes.
And it's literally posters of events that have happened in the 30 years. Yeah. And you look back and you think some of the comedians that have played here over the years is extraordinary.
Yeah.
And so to be able to give us, the fans, an opportunity to watch this is amazing. So thank you very much.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely echo that. And again, this is one of the reasons I like to see new comedians, up and coming, and debut shows, because it's you're seeing the stars of the future oftentimes, and it's wonderful to see the embryonic form before he grows into the big arena acts of the future.
Very much so, and may I say, it's a pleasure to see you here again, my friend.
Yes.
Because I find it much better. Watching a comedy show with someone who is as passionate about it is as passionate about it as I am.
Yeah.
Because we can explain our experiences and everything after it, just like we're doing now.
Yeah.
It's good if you're on your own, but you want to talk to somebody and go, oh, wasn't that fantastic? And we're here, and this, how original is this? And there's nobody there. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you very much for letting me do the joint podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's great. It's as you say, it's terrific to meet up with someone, as we have done, to see shows together, or if we see shows apart and then we get together and say, what have you seen? What have you seen?
Yeah.
And it's terrific.
And I'm going to buy you a drink tonight as well when we do it again.
Fantastic. Well, on that wonderful note then, if you're listening to the Comedy in a Nutshell podcast, then do check out Rich Gill's fantastic podcast and blog and YouTube channel, A Rich Comic Life.
And if you're listening to my podcast, please check out Comedy in a Nutshell, my friend Mark's podcast, which is fantastic as well.
That's all for this time, and we'll see you on our next podcast.
Thank you very much, and keep supporting live comedy. Thank you.